Hi, English 250. This is Peps. So for my documented essay, I decided to do the story of Dylan Roof. He's a young man who murdered the African Americans in the Baptist Church in South Carolina. So here's a little footage from CNN.
The cold-blooded triggerman captured on surveillance camera as he entered Emmanuel AME Church. A young white man, 5'9", slender, clean-shaven, with sandy blonde hair. His getaway car, a black Hyundai.
He had reloaded 5 different times.
The mass murderer, soon identified as 21-year-old Dylan Roof. What the shooter said before firing shots leads police to believe he killed the victims because they were black.
The fact that he knew the time and place that those folks would be gathered, he was able to effectively gain access to the church, and then he sat there for a while.
Roof sat in Bible study with church members for an hour before opening fire. He spared at least one woman's life. He said, quote, "so you can tell them what happened."
There was some premeditation, some pre-planning, clearly, on his part. There are a lot of reasons why he may have delayed his activities. He could have been enjoying the moment. He could have been waiting for the right opportunity.
The FBI is now investigating whether he's affiliated with any hate groups. His social media profile shows a stone-faced Roof outfitted in a jacket bearing 2 flags of apartheid-era South Africa and nearby Rhodesia.
This is obviously a young man who's angry, who's disenfranchised with the great society that we live in.
Police records show Roof has been arrested twice in South Carolina before, spending time behind bars this year for a drug charge. The police report says Roof was in possession of a narcotic used to stop opioid addiction. He was also arrested and charged for trespassing. When police caught Roof Thursday, he was armed, but it's unclear if it was the same .45 caliber gun sources say his father recently bought him for his 21st birthday this April.
To give you a refresher, Dylan Roof is a 21-year-old man who murdered the 9 African American Baptist church members in Charleston, South Carolina. So, as you can see from the video, Dylan Roof is a young white man, about 5'9", sandy blonde hair, who's clean shaven. Now I say that because usually monsters have this stigma. They look scraggly, usually have scars and stuff like that. But Dylan Roof looked like your average guy just walking on the street. But we all know the kind of harm he caused that with African Americans. From the report, it says that he killed them because they were black. He knew the time and place where they were going to be gathered, so you can tell this was well planned. Also, I might add that I read that he had been a member of that small group for about a year now. He spared one lady so she can tell everybody what happened. This is an indicator, in my opinion, of some sort of monster behavior. You can tell he was just not trying to murder, but was really trying to get his point across. Um, from the picture of him in his Facebook profile picture, he had a jacket on, and the jacket had 2 flags on it. Now, one flag was about apartheid. Apartheid it represents the period of time where native South Africans were trying to get independence from the Dutch, and Rhodesia is also represents President Zimbabwe, but they had a similar story as the apartheid, but they were trying to get independence from their British colonies. He had been arrested twice prior to the murder, one for drug charges, possession of narcotics, for to try and help him overcome his addiction for opium, and also been arrested for trespassing at the mall. Now, I'd have to add, from sources, he had been a regular drug abuser. He dropped out of high school, and from sources, he just stayed at home, played video games, and smoked loads of marijuana. He suffered from OCD. He he obsessed over how he wanted his hair cut, and also obsessed over germs as a child. From sources, he had a lot of black friends, but also had a racial bias towards the black community. He There were two incidents from his website that really set him off about the black community. Um, this is even before. This is on top of the racial bias he already had, which was the Trayvon Martin incident and the Freddie Gray incident, where he felt that those cops were doing the right thing, but were kind of from the media presented as as the evil people. He said he had posted on his website that he felt that black people were taking over the world, quote unquote. So, from all the examples that I kind of presented, the monster theory that I tied this into was the monster stands at the threshold of becoming. Obviously, with his OCD, his arrest, his drug abuse, um, all of these kind of indicate that it was only a matter of time until he did something monstrous, and also his racial bias, obviously, all tie into, the fact that he was probably just on the verge of doing something, not necessarily of this magnitude, but something close to this incident. I do have to add though, Dylan Roof could be subject to othering too because he fits the stigma of all of our, mass murders who happen to be young white males who are, um, you know, mentally ill. Even the guy in the video described him as angry and disenfranchised from society. To the point where maybe he's lost all touch with reality. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in class next 2 weeks, I think. Anyways, have a good Thanksgiving. Bye.